Hey, what's going on, everybody? Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Isvansky. This is Niz Weather Wizdom. The date is January 27th, and we are just after noon. It has been a tough stretch of winter weather here in southeastern Wisconsin and across much of the Midwest. Again, we've been, much of the country for that matter. Obviously, there has been that big-time winter storm that affected the South over the weekend and then eventually the Mid-Atlantic and the East Coast. Big swath of snow there. While we've been dealing with just cold and multiple kind of light snow events. So I propose the question to you. If you could only choose one, the rest of your life, would you prefer to have more of a dead of winter week of weather like we just had, like our cold extreme that we've just had and we will continue to see? Or would you prefer a week of dog days of summer weather? You can only have one. So 90s and humid the rest of your life, or constant cold with below zero wind chills the rest of your life. Which would you choose? Leave a comment, leave a question back at me in the comment section. So let's get to our week of weather. Let's look ahead to what we can expect to see here the next couple of days. And we'll start you off with a look at the current snow depth across the Midwest. And obviously, big-time snow ice event from Dallas to Arkansas into northern Mississippi, western Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, eventually over towards the East Coast, seeing that big-time snow event, while we had a little bit of a lake effect event here in southeastern Wisconsin. So as we look at, again, snow depth, let's look at the current scenario across the country. Things are pretty quiet now. Maybe a few flurries across the plains. That's mainly just cloud cover. You have another storm system we'll keep an eye on that's heading towards the west coast. And then an upper level low that continues to bring some snow showers across New England, the Mid-Atlantic region there. Overall, we're going to continue to stay quiet. Our weather this week looks pretty boring, which is good. Looks to be colder than average still. But as we look at Futurecast, not only here in Milwaukee, but across the Midwest, from Minneapolis over to Omaha, down to Wichita, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, to the north, relatively quiet conditions. Some lake effect snow showers on the other side of Lake Michigan, across lower Michigan through the week with a strong northwest wind, but and a few flurries across the plains. But besides that, things are looking pretty quiet. Current temperatures across southeastern Wisconsin and across the Midwest here. It's still cold, but we've improved quite a bit. This is more tolerable. Maybe even some kids are able to go out for recess today. I mean, it's not great. 10 right now, actual temperature in Milwaukee, 6 in La Crosse, 4 in Minneapolis, 1 below zero, International Falls, 26 down in St. Louis. So, I mean, it's not awesome. In fact, it's still way below average, but we'll take it compared to where we've been. Factor in a little bit of wind here across the Midwest. And we do have some wind. Wind picked up again last night. 15 below wind chill in Rhinelander, 18 below International Falls, Fargo at -12, Sioux Falls at -8, and Chicago at -4. So still very, very cold. Just again, an improvement from where we have been. As we look at the upper levels to kind of predict looking ahead, we're going to pretty much stay where we're at and have a couple more shots of some pretty cold air. In general, the upper levels are still from the northwest, but the extreme cold is still tucked up towards the Hudson Bay. You see, again, you have that vortex to the north. Maybe even late week, we get hit with what could end up being below zero cold. Thursday into Friday, again, across the Great Lakes, but it shouldn't be as strong of a punch of cold air. In fact, as we look at the 7-day forecast, bear with me for a second as I load that up. 7-day forecast here in Milwaukee. Now, again, it could be colder, obviously, if you're north, or warmer if you're south. Showing, staying cold at least through Friday. I could see us dropping those numbers on Friday, given the latest upper level data that I'm seeing. And then still below average Saturday, Sunday. In fact, even the Monday and Tuesday next week, Groundhog's Day, by the way. I think it's Monday. Got to move that groundhog. Upper 20s are still below average, but more typical. So we really have about 3 or 4 more days. I think Friday could end up being colder than that 13, given what I'm looking at in the upper levels. And then we start to work our way out of it. So overall, besides the cold, just kind of a ho-hum week here of weather, not only across the Midwest, but across much of the country, which I think is pretty welcome for anybody. So I left the question here. Please leave an answer in the comment section, whether that's through Facebook or if you're on YouTube. Would you prefer the dead of winter if you had it the rest of your life? Like the weather we're seeing right now, the rest of your life, or would you prefer the middle of summer, the dog days of summer? 90s constantly, humid. If you only could have one, what is your choice? If you are watching on Facebook, by the way, please, obviously, follow me there. But I also encourage you to heading over to YouTube and subscribing to Brian Niz Weather Wizdom. You can search Brian Niz and find my page, or Niz Weather Wiz, W-I-Z, Niz Weather Wiz. Search for me over there on YouTube and hit subscribe. And if you are watching on YouTube by chance, whether it's live or later on, and you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below. But most importantly, I would love to know the answer to your question. Would you prefer the dead of winter like we've been seeing for the rest of your life? Or would you prefer 90s and humid, kind of dog days of summer type weather the rest of your life? Leave that in the comments section. In the meantime, we're going to make this one quick. It is a super quiet but chilly forecast ahead for the next few days. Cold, but not as cold as where we've been. Highs maybe around 10. Wind chills still below 0 at times, but not the 30 and 40 below 0 stuff that we've been seeing. Looks like everybody's pretty quiet today. I